The 2026 World Cup is coming, and to say it's going to be big is a massive understatement. But what does all that scale really mean for you, the fan, on the ground trying to follow your team? Well, that's what we're here to figure out. Let's build your survival guide.
Everything starts with this number, 48. For the very first time, we're going to have 48 different teams competing for that iconic trophy. Yeah, that's a huge leap from the 32-team format we've all gotten used to over the last few decades.
And, more teams means way more matches. We're talking about a staggering 104 games in total. That officially makes this the longest and by far the largest World Cup in history.
But it's not just the number of games. This whole thing isn't even happening in one country. For the first time ever, it's going to be spread across 3 host nations, the USA, Canada, and Mexico. We are talking about a tournament on a scale we have literally never seen before.
Okay, so with 16 host cities spread across an entire continent, that's obviously a massive undertaking for the players and the organizers. But for the fans, that's a whole different ballgame. So the real question is, what is it actually going to take for you to follow your team on this adventure?
Right, so first things first, let's just break down how this expansion to 48 teams really changes the entire landscape of the tournament.
And check this out. This table shows you exactly how those extra qualification spots are getting handed out. And look, every single confederation gets a bigger piece of the pie. Africa jumps up to 9 spots, Asia gets 8, and right here in North and Central America, we're getting 6. This really does open the door for countries who've never had a shot to finally experience the World Cup. It's fantastic.
Now, more teams, more cities, more football. It all sounds incredible, right? But for the fans actually traveling to the games, this excitement could very quickly turn into a logistical nightmare.
And this is the reality. We're not just talking about booking a flight in a hotel in one city anymore. For some supporters, following their team is going to be a genuine odyssey. An epic journey with multiple flights, different hotels, and complex ground transport plans, all just to get through the group stage.
Just to give you an idea of how wild this could get, some fans could potentially travel over 10,000 kilometers, that's more than 6,000 miles, just to follow their team for 3 group stage matches. And that's just within the United States. It's a massive, massive distance.
But okay, that's the absolute maximum. Not everyone's journey is going to be that insane. So to make this all a bit more real, we're going to use Brazil's group stage path as our case study. It's a perfect example of what a low to moderate complexity trip looks like, but one that still needs some serious planning.
So here's their schedule. First, they play Morocco in New Jersey. Then it's a short hop over to Philadelphia to play Haiti. And finally, they fly down to Miami for their last group match against Scotland. So you've got 2 games in the Northeast, 1 down in the South. This is our map. Let's use it to figure out the challenges ahead.
All right, let's tackle that first leg of the journey. We're going to focus on those 2 games in New Jersey and Philadelphia. They're pretty close geographically, but as you're about to see, they present completely different puzzles for fans. See, in Philadelphia, getting to the stadium is super simple. You just hop on the city's SEPTA Metro and it takes you right there. Easy. But for the game in New Jersey, it's more complicated. You need to take a longer journey on the NJ Transit train system. And that tells you right away that your plan for where to stay and how to travel has to be totally different for each city.
So here's the playbook for this part of the trip. For that New Jersey game, you should probably stay in Jersey City. It'll give you much easier access to the right train line. For Philly, pretty much any hotel in the city center with Metro access will do the trick. But, and this is the big one, whatever you do, avoid ride-sharing apps after the games. Seriously. The surge pricing is going to be insane and you'll be waiting forever. The train in both cities is your best bet, no question.
Okay, 2 games down, 1 to go. After the Northeast, the whole journey shifts south to Miami for that final group game. And, as you might have guessed, this city comes with its own unique set of challenges.
Yeah, the Hard Rock Stadium is kind of out there on its own, miles from any direct train lines. But there's a smart way to do it. The best method is to ride the Brightline high-speed train to the nearest station. From there, you just hop on a free shuttle bus that's dedicated to taking fans directly to the stadium. Trust me, it's the most effective way to completely bypass all that insane game day traffic.
All right, so we've walked through Brazil's entire journey. What did we learn? What are the universal lessons here? Let's zoom back out and put together a playbook that any fan can use, no matter which team you're pulling for.
Really, it all boils down to these 4 pillars. Number 1, book everything. And I mean flights, hotels, all of it, as early as you possibly can. 2, get your visas and any other travel documents sorted out immediately.
Don't wait. 3. Think about a hub strategy. You could base yourself in one city and just take shorter trips out for games. And maybe the most important one, 4. Before you go, master the local transport system for each and every city you visit.
Now, I know this level of planning might seem like a lot, but in a weird way, it kind of reflects how the game of football itself has evolved. Just think about it. On the field, tactics have become incredibly sophisticated. You know, we went from those old-school all-out attack formations in the 1920s to super organized defensive systems like Italy's Catenaccio in the 60s. And now we're in this modern era of hyper-complex strategies like tiki-taka and gegenpressing. The game on the pitch has become more detailed, more strategic, more planned out than ever before.
And what this 2026 World Cup is really showing us is that the fan experience has evolved right along with it. It's just not about buying a ticket anymore. It's about mastering logistics, it's about strategy, and it's about planning. The game on the field got more complex, and so did the game of being a fan in the stands. So the only question left is, are you ready to play?